Hello, everyone. We're so excited to have you here for our final Winter Career Quest session. My name is Hong Win, and it's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker today, someone who not only excels in the world of technology, but also dedicates himself to empowering others. I'm so thrilled to welcome in Bernard Smith Jr., a proud WGU alum and cloud architect engineer at Microsoft. Bernard is more than just a tech leader, he's also a community builder and a passionate advocate for helping others succeed. Today, he'll be sharing his insights on the future of work, how to analyze job trends and position yourself for success, where he'll share on the rapidly evolving landscape and how to stay ahead in your career. So, with that, Bernard, I will pass things over to you.
Wow, thank you so much, Hong. I really appreciate you, appreciate Vanessa, you all are. And since the day we met, it's been nothing but great conversations, just talking about community, how we can help, how we can be impactful, how we can, just give back, right? To a school that's allowed me to get a MBA in IT management. So I'm always thankful for that connection and thankful for the school too as well for that. And so I'll just get right into it. I have a lot of information I could throw at you around this topic today. I'm gonna try to condense it as much as I can. But once again, my name is Bernard Smith. I'm pretty much your friendly neighborhood cloud solutions architect at Microsoft today, and a proud WGU grad. When I'm not solving cloud puzzles, I would say I'm busy running the Next Step initiative you see on the screen here, which I help people level up and help the community, right, in different ways, like the underrepresented communities. I bring STEM to schools in Dallas ISD. I do field trips to Microsoft as well, and we do like a Microsoft day with different middle schools, elementary schools, high schools. Also, as one of the leaders of Blacks at Microsoft, which here at Microsoft, that is about connecting and inspiring and amplifying the voices and making sure we're heard in tech that need to be heard. And also, John C. Smith University is my undergrad up in Charlotte, North Carolina. They actually named me 40 under 40, which was pretty cool, as well as gave me the UNCF, United Negro College Fund Outstanding Alumni Award. I also have an endowment at this school now as well. So if you got any kids or anybody looking to go to undergrad at a HBCU, they can, qualify to get a scholarship based on my scholarship endowment there. But every day is a new adventure. I'm all about pushing the boundaries. I'm all about making an impact and having fun while doing it. And so first things first, if you don't, I dropped a link in the chat for my LinkedIn. Also, you could use your phone here to scan the QR code, or once again, I'll put in the chat there. But my name is Bernard A. Smith Jr., so you should see that come up on LinkedIn. And Hong, I think I seen a notification go across the screen that someone said the audio is low, but hopefully I'm talking loud enough so that folks can hear. Okay.
Yep, I can
Uh,
hear you.
okay, I just want to make sure. There's a lot of remote, right? I don't have the mic in the hand in person with you all today, so I got to go based on your device there, right? But we understand today that the technology sector is continually growing, right? Everything technology touches everything, right? And so I feel my understanding of is that any industry that you're in is going to leverage tech in some way at some point, right? We know about artificial intelligence, right? Hopefully, right? We've seen a lot of in the news that has happened around AI, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about that, right? How we're shaping, right? This new future is shaping. These emerging trends are shaping today, um, and how the changes are impacting, right, the workforce that we are, as we know it to be going to be in the future. So we explore those key industry trends, the essential skills to be a technology professional, right? I think once again, every industry you're going to have to grow some type of technology skills, and on how the workforce is just adopting to that, future of work. So my agenda, once again, is that here for y'all. We may get through it all, we may not. If not, we will just schedule a part two because I do got a lot of information as we start moving further down the list around preparing for the future and analyzing the job market and negotiations and salaries and stuff like that. But let's start at the beginning. Let's talk about the key industry trends in technology today, automation is key, right? I talked about artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence is here really to be that agent, right? When we think about like back in the day, you had to do a lot of like either, you used to work on the computer, it was clicking, right? That you have to do, maybe click here, click there to get some type of information back to you, right? We think about these industries that where there was a lot of manual labor, right, in these factories. And that has proven, right, to be sometimes there's error, right? When you have to click here, you may be looking at Excel sheet all the time, right? You get fatigued, right? So AI is here to serve as an agent to help with that productivity so that, hey, AI is, majority of the time is not going to get tired, right? Hopefully it doesn't like miss a step, right? And so now if you were to infuse an agent with the applications that you have or in your industry, right? Now things are more automated. So now I say, hey, go find me this information for this, and it's going to pull back a whole entire list of information around this particular topic, or say, hey, go make this call request, right? And it's going to go and make that call request and give you that information or build this particular thing that you're trying to build, whether it's like a code that you're trying to build. I wish I had that back when I was school and I had these coding projects. I could run the AI, Microsoft. We have the Copilot, GitHub. Now you have that now that can parse through your whole list of code to tell you what is wrong, what's the error in it, how you can fix it, and then fix it for you. um, and so automation is pretty cool. So we always want to be thinking about how can I start learning about artificial intelligence, because that is an industry that is here to stay. Predictive analysis, right? Analytics, right? Machine learning is another huge topic as well with AI. And once again, it's all about prediction, right? A lot when I learned my MBA, it was talking about a lot about predictive analytics and graphs and forecasts and data-driven decisions, right? But machine learning is actually going to change the game when it comes to predictive analytics. So a lot of organizations are seeing a lot of benefit in that trend there, and what in that product there with machine learning. And overall, with AI, is going to enhance our decision making processes today because it is going to be able to gather all that data quickly and give you output more accurately today. The next thing I want to talk about is blockchain and cryptocurrency. A lot of talk in the news around this. If we all kind of been paying attention a little bit, cryptocurrency is here, right? Blockchain is here. One side of it is the secure transactions, and so making sure that the transactions are transparent, reliable, right, for conducting business, right? Everything is decentralized now, right? That's the wave instead of centralized. And so that's going to impact when we think about supply chain, we think about healthcare, right? It's going to impact finances as well. There's no middleman with the bank and the taxes and all that, right? The bank taking there off the top or that transaction, right? You do, right? Through maybe Cash App, right? Some of y'all maybe use Cash App. And so cryptocurrency, right, is built on blockchain. That's also going to transform the way we interact when it comes to transactions and how we invest too as well. So hopefully y'all got a little bit of those cryptocurrencies. Um, Internet of Things, right? IoT, you may hear it called in the tech world, smart devices. A lot of us are using some smart devices right now, right? But this is referring to that communication of how we share data. And now they're really prevalent in homes, right? From a security's perspective, right? Some of you all got alarms on your homes. Some of you all got, energy efficient things that you use your AC, right? That's automated. Your lights may be automated in your home. Some of you that got those nice homes, right? But this is all about how do we communicate and share data, right, with those things, right? And how we can improve our efficiency, how we can improve data collection, how can we have resource management of those applications so that we get those efficiencies. And so just kind of want to go briefly, just kind of a background there. So let's get into essential skills for professionals. Coding is going to be very key today, right? You think about AI, you think about machine learning, all of that is built off coding capabilities, right? And so someone asked me the other day, is like, hey, you think coding is going on? I was like, no, I think AI is not replacing your job, but if you understand how to code, then you can leverage, right, the understanding behind the scenes of what AI is doing, the machine learning is doing, as well as it can help you be more efficient, right, with your code as well. So it's not meant to replace you, but it's meant to, add on to what you're already doing to make you more productive, make you more efficient. So strong programming and coding skills are going to be essential, especially for those people who are looking to be in that software industry and that application type industry. You want to familiarize yourself with programming languages. And when you work at Microsoft, right, you got to know a little bit, right, about something. And so, as a tech company, right, and so you're going to have to learn a little bit. It doesn't matter if you're joining in from the finance side, or you joining in from the HR side, or you joining in from the design or UX side. I mean, you're gonna have to learn some type of technology, right? And you may know a little bit about some programming languages as well, just because you're surrounded by so many. And then also, you just kind of want to learn these languages um, as a skill set, so that you're versatile in your role, right? In your projects that you can do. And so effective coding skills are going to help you be more innovative. So familiarize yourself enhances your job, prospects, right? Wherever you are today. The next industry that's growing is data analysis, cybersecurity proficiency. I'm a cybersecurity person, right? And so I love talking about cybersecurity. But with the growing importance of data, right? Data is the new oil, I would say, these days, right? If I have your data, I have your life almost. I have your first name, your last name, where you stay, your IP address, all types of things, right? There's a big, we saw the TikTok thing, right? It's a big thing about data and where it resides and who has access to that data. It's a serious thing to think about. When you download these apps on your phone, think about the data that you're giving over to someone and how they might use that to hack you, hack your credit card, use your name, right? Get your username and password, and maybe hopefully not use the same username and password for everything. If they get one of them, they might have access to your bank account, right? How you log in at work each and every day, all types of stuff. And so just be careful there. So, and data is going to be important. So learning how to do data analysis skills is going to be essential. Every organization has data, right? And so that's going to be key, especially when we look at the migration towards the cloud. When we look at the migration towards AI, data is going to be king of everything, so that you can make informed decisions, which means cybersecurity is going to be right. One of those skill sets, that knowledge is going to be crucial to protect that sensitive information from those threats, right? Someone has to safeguard this data, right? We can't just trust everything. Yeah, we trust our credit card swipe at Walmart, or we trust, there's the reason why you probably trust it, because you think maybe or believe that that Walmart is protected at some capacity, right? That transaction is protected, right? So somebody has to protect that transaction, and so that cybersecurity person or that company that you're working for, right? You're betting that they are keeping your data safe, right? When you go to the doctor, you're hoping, right, that they invested in cybersecurity at some point, so that they're keeping your data safe, right? And so all your bank account numbers and your routing numbers, your social security numbers, right? You're banking on the government, you're banking on, right? These different industries, they're doing their job on that side and making sure those professionals are there to protect your data. So cybersecurity data analysis is going to be a key thing, key skills to learn today. That is where the trend is going. You see a lot of people getting hired for data skills, cybersecurity skills, right? AI is the future, as we know, it's already here. And so you see a lot of people getting hired. Another thing that also goes unspoken, right? Soft skills, communication, collaboration, adaptability. There's a lot of people at Microsoft, just from my, because I'm going to be Microsoft heavy here, I guess, talking about it. There's a lot of people that actually don't go to school for tech that work at Microsoft, because they have communication skills, because they have collaboration skills, right? What is communication? How do I clearly talk to someone? How do I clearly talk to Hong and convey my ideas and the innovation? How do we even get to this point of doing this, right? It's because of communication and because of collaboration. Hey, what does that look like? What should we do together so that we can have a better output, right? What is the problem that we're trying to solve today, right? People need jobs. People are thinking about skills that they need in the industry today. Well, collaboration is going to be key. Can we put our minds together so that we can be creative and innovative and have diverse perspectives on what does that problem solving actually look like for one another? Adaptability. How can I embrace the changes of this new AI age that we're in today, right? How do I adapt, each and every day to, hey, this was the goal before, and now there's a bigger goal, right? How do I adapt now? Is my work is going to be a little bit different? Is the challenge to get to that bigger goal going to be a little bit differently, right? Especially at a tech company, there's a lot of fast-paced environments, so every day is not the same, and so you're going to have adaptability, right? Just like how you would do if you worked out. You say, hey, well, working out got me to 185 pounds. Now I want to get to 175. What took you to get to 185 is probably not going to be the same that's going to get you to 175, right? Because you might hit a plateau at 185. So maybe the diet needs to change. Maybe you might do some more cardio, maybe, whatever the case may be. So you have to learn how to adapt in the workplace as well. Looking at the job market, right, from the mountain on down, saying, okay, what are these companies hiring for? And a lot of it is actually going to be around those soft skills. A lot of people got hired at these tech companies because of soft skills, because they can communicate, because they can collaborate with people, because they know how to get the best out of folks, and they're team players, and because they're adaptable. Because a lot of people come in, oh yeah, I'm good at tech, but they can't adapt, they can't collaborate, they can't communicate. So you can have all the skills, but these are the essential skills that effectively drive a business forward, drive an organization forward today. So hopefully that makes sense. And so let's talk about the evolving workforce, right, in the tech industry, the work dynamics, right, the flexibility. Um, and so we know about remote work. Now, you did hear a lot on the news that some federal employees, right, they got to kind of come back to work right now. A lot of companies, a lot of tech companies, they're still remote, right? We still working. I'm home right now personally, right? And so that has changed, right? And potentially it may change, right, in the future. We know COVID kind of helped push that remote work, and but we'll see, right? We'll see. But that traditionally nowadays, you work in tech, you're probably going to have some remote benefits, right? Unless you're in the federal, it looks like, right? So remote work. So got to be comfortable at home. Got to be comfortable. They'll usually give you chairs, monitors, desks, stuff like that to make sure you're good at home. And so that's going to be key. Also, learning how to use, right, these virtual meetings of WebEx. I know I was talking earlier about using Teams instead of WebEx, and I haven't used WebEx in so long, but I had to adapt real quick on how do I even present on WebEx. I haven't used WebEx in like, I don't remember the last time I used WebEx, maybe like 7 or 8 years ago. But I had to adapt real quick, to virtual. WebEx, right? And or at home, you got to adapt to virtual meetings, or even at work, there's still going to be virtual meetings. Everybody's not going to be in the same place. Some of you all are in different locations, but how do we all collaborate together? So you want to be flexible, right? Anytime you're talking to a job, you want to be flexible to say, hey, um, yeah, I'm flexible to relocate. I'm flexible to work at home, flexible to come in the office maybe one day out of the week. So you want to be flexible, which also helps your work-life balance, right? Some people benefit from being at home. Maybe they got kids that they can catch the bus stop, with the kid now because they're home, or they don't have to fight traffic, right? And so that makes you feel a little bit better when you go to work, um, right? um, Gig economy, something to also think about. The expansion of the gig economy is expanding. Actually, I've been looking at this, which is technology professionals. You have these freelance opportunities that offer flexibility and choice. There's a trend going on right now, actually, that allows folks to kind of work on diverse projects. So maybe I work at Microsoft, but I could be freelancing to other companies. I could be a contractor somewhere. I can help on this big project, right? This task, right? And I'm paid by the task. I'm paid by the project. So now if I'm making 6 figures here, I might could go make another 6 figures, after work, right? But that gives you flexibility as well. And also because of the lack of job security and benefits of health insurance as well, something to think about. Sometimes you do work these gig economies or these freelance opportunities, they don't give you the health insurance and the job security. Sometimes when you're done with a project, that might be all you're there for. So just something to think about, but that has been growing, right? Because it's fueled by technology actually. And a lot of people desire more control over their work schedules. So gig. So think about gig economy, think about freelance opportunities as well, especially if you already have a skill set. Now, diversity and inclusion, this is going to be key. A lot of industries you've been hearing, and we've been seeing a lot in the news too as well around this topic. But diversity is still critical, right? Still critical for innovation in the tech industry, right? Not so much have to deal with kind of like the color of your skin or race or whatever, but more about like collaboration, innovation, right? I have a different idea. Someone else has a different idea. How do we bring those different ideas together, those perspectives together, and that leads to a creative solution? And I think if you don't have diversity of thought and inclusion of thought, right? Diversity is being, invited to a party, and inclusion is being asked to dance. So how do I now value your, perspective? How do I new value you in your mind, right? And so we get the best, out of each other. So, that creativity. And so I think that is continues going to be a thing. Diversity of thought, inclusion of those thoughts is going to be relevant today for these workspaces, for these cultures at these workspaces to grow as well. Okay. So I know I'm kind of high level, but like I said, I don't want to talk at you all day. I don't have that much time. You can always connect on LinkedIn if for deeper questions or specific questions. Um, but preparing for the future. Uh, Key right now for anybody is looking at how do I continuously learn? What can I use? Whether it's YouTube, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Udemy, whether it's WGU, right? What can I do to attend things like this? Attend more of them, right? Workshops, things that webinars, courses, right? I need to be seeking out all the time. How can I become a continuous learner, because that's going to be critical for how I stay competitive, right? In my job market at Microsoft, we have to continuously learn. We have to continuously upskill, right? Because my skills that I had last year isn't the same skills that I need to have today to move Microsoft forward. And so even if you're not working, you should be trying to do the same. Hey, whatever I had learned last year, you already have the mindset that, hey, that's already obsolete, right? The world is going to move even faster because of technology, because of AI. So I need to be trying to upgrade myself, right? I need to be adding another thing to the armor, right? Something to the arsenal. And maybe that becomes training, right? Maybe that becomes more certification. Maybe that becomes a degree. But I need to be doing something specialized that is going to improve my career prospect and my expertise right in the field. Microsoft, we say you want to be a learner-all, not a know-it-all, right? Because if you know it all, I can't teach you, and you might be stuck in a fixed mindset. But if I'm a learner-all, I have that growth mindset where I'm always seeking opportunities to develop myself, even when it gets tough. And so, the next thing will be networking and professional development. It definitely, sometimes kind of cliche when people say networking. I'm like, well, networking was got me to Microsoft, right? Networking was growing my LinkedIn, right? Networking was got me to introduce to Hong and Vanessa, right? And so, don't sleep on yep, yeah, yep. Don't sleep on networking, right? That opens the doors for the opportunities and promotions. There's a lot of people that have gotten jobs through LinkedIn. There's a lot of people that haven't gotten jobs by attending these. Sometimes there's some local events about whatever the industry is at the time. Maybe it's tech, right? There's these mixers that you can attend. You can shake hands with people, and there's opportunities there, right? I have to network within Microsoft for promotions and other opportunities as well. I don't. Maybe I want to be a manager one day. Maybe I want to be in a C-level position one day. I have to continue to network, right? For that, I have to build connections. I have to foster those connections or I have to seek out mentors, guidance, right? People who are already doing what I want to do. I'm seeking out those people, so that I can grow myself, right? And also I'm looking out for collaborative opportunities as well. If I'm already kind of bringing something to the table, I'm looking for someone else that's bringing something else to that table. And like, hey, how can we collab together so that we can expand, both of us, right? So that's going to be key as well. And so that goes back to the need for adaptability, the need of learning those new tools, the need of understanding innovative methodologies as well. Got to stay up to date with the trends. That's going to be vital, right, to your success, and embrace it as well in your environment. And so, yeah, I see somebody. I'm not looking at everything in the chat, but I do see it popping up as I'm talking. But I see somebody talking about certifications. Um, and so, yeah, right here. And so why does certifications matter, right? Your certifications do demonstrate that your commitment to your professional development expertise. You heard me say I had to go get a new certification. I actually just got one, right? Not too long ago for identity, which is pretty much who you are, right? As your identity, right? And so I had to go get that from a cloud perspective. But a lot of employers do require certifications, right? This significantly increases your chance, right? To enhance your job prospects, your earning potential as well, right? You got certifications, they lead to higher salary. You know more, you might get paid more, right? And also, if you competitive, right? You say, hey, what separates me from Hong, right? Well, I got more certifications, I got more skills, right? And so um, that matters, right? In the hiring process, I know at Microsoft we do look at your certifications. Right? I have been a part of looking at resumes, right? And so I do know certifications do matter. You knowing is better than you not knowing, right? And so I do believe certifications are going to matter for sure, right? In the industry. Other thing like automation, digital transformations, new technologies, those are all reshaping the job roles. And so get those certifications that meet industry trends. I do got a couple I'll put on the slide here if you want to reach out later. Then of course, because every industry is a little bit differently. Every company is going to be a little bit different. The job you apply for is going to be a little bit different. And so always be looking at the job role and look at what are relevant certifications towards that job role, right? There's never a question like, what should I be? You got Chat GPT now. You all got this AI now. Like before, that wasn't a thing. So now you can actually go take a job, uh, you know, um, a resume, or you could take a job, description and go put it in ChatGPT. Say what certification would be relevant for this job, right? So use the tools that you have available to you to figure out what meets that demand, right, for that job, meets that job role, right? It could be as simple as that, actually. And so you always want to look at it in that way so that you can advance your career. Some of y'all here may be looking for a job. Some of you are trying to advance in your job. Certifications is being the way, right? Certification is the way there because it gives you that credibility. And I post all my certifications on my LinkedIn so that not only Microsoft knows, but other industry professionals know that I'm always increasing my skills as well. And we might go into that if we have time as well. But once again, the technology industry is booming. I will look at cloud certifications, right? If you're in the industry and you understand the business of that industry and you maybe are saying, okay, if you don't know, start researching your own company, right? That you're in. If you're not in a company, research these other companies. What are their business operations? What are they looking to do? What are they migrating towards? And cloud computing, right, is key. That's going to give you that foundational, you know, outlook, right, into the job industry. And so we need to be looking at Amazon as a big competitor of Microsoft, but we want to be looking at AWS, right? Certified Solutions Architect. Um, AWS has a list of certifications on their website, I'm pretty sure, as Microsoft Azure is ours, right? And we have a list of certifications, right? So the AZ900 is one that I do recommend all to get. I actually run a boot camp in the summer for the AZ900 free, right? And so you want to get your cloud services skills up, right? And those certifications will be the best starting point. When we talk about everything that we just talked about now, the growth mindset, the continuous learning, how do you separate yourself, right? And I'm not going to say it's easy to get it, right? But if you're focused, if you're locked into, bettering yourself, bettering whoever else, right? Tell them to go get a cloud certification because your industry right now probably is sitting on AWS. Your industry right now is probably sitting on Azure, right? Or Google Cloud, right? And so there's things to think about. Now, from a cybersecurity perspective, with these rise of cyber threats, you have the CISSP, the Certified Information System Security Professional, very tough one to get. Certified Ethical Hacker, CEH, that is in demand. And we want to protect our sensitive information. Now, if I'm looking to work at a Microsoft, I'm looking to work at a Amazon or Google or any other company, are they built on Amazon? Are they built on Azure? Now, okay, let's say if I don't have the CISSP because it might be tough, CEH, right? What you can do is you can go get a Microsoft certification and then apply that way, or get the AWS certification and apply that. So get a cybersecurity certification from these companies because all these companies have their own certification because they have their own tools, their interfaces, right? Their own platforms, their own solutions. And so majority of people are going to either be on AWS or Microsoft. So if I'm getting Microsoft cert, or I'm getting AWS cert, I mean, I'm still great, right? Or I'm getting a Google cert, right? I'm still great. And so, because a lot of companies, this WGU probably sits on Azure, right? Because Microsoft has a big partnership with universities and schools, right? So why not be learning Microsoft Azure, right? In that perspective, right? And so that can help you in the industry that you're trying to apply for. Because oh, okay, you got a cloud cert too. We think about moving our data to the cloud. Now you already know how do you make data driven decisions through the cloud. You already kind of understand that because you got these certifications. Now, instead of me having to spend all this money to train you, now it looks like you already did the work. Now you get into a company, they'll pay for you to go upskill to get more certifications. They might pay for your CISSP now. They might pay for your CEH now. That's what I did. I joined Microsoft and they paid for my degree. And so, you want to be looking at it like that. Like, hey, let me get the cert, get in the door, and then y'all pay for these other certs that do cost more money. And so I would say always be looking, and this slide here is more talking about data science and AI. But there is a Google Data Engineer certification. There is a Microsoft Azure AI Engineer certification, the AI 900. Like I said, I don't know Google's, of course. I'm a Microsoft guy, sorry. But there are some AI certifications that every big, tech company do offer, and that's definitely going to position you better in that data science and AI field there. Okay. I think I'm still good on time. So yeah, online brand. Let's talk about online branding real quick here. Um, Hopefully you all got LinkedIn. I'll put my LinkedIn in the chat. I'll put the QR code, right? We'll probably share that out later at some point, but your LinkedIn is going to be the best thing that you want to continue to build right now. I know we all got Facebook and Twitter or Instagram and other that, but LinkedIn is going to be key because that is how hiring teams do find people, right? Somebody might be asking the question right now, how do you get into Microsoft, right? LinkedIn. I don't know what else to say after that, right? LinkedIn is what got me into Microsoft. Someone reached out to me because they see me doing maybe all this great work, and I'm posting everything on my LinkedIn, right? Anything that I'm doing, I'm posting it, whether it's big or small. No matter if you get 1 like or 20 likes or 1,000 likes or how many. I didn't care about all that, right? I'm building my brand, right, through LinkedIn. It's like a business card, right, that I could have more of a reach out to people. Um, these are some important things to consider. I have a better slide, but best practices here is that you want to have the 10 steps, right? I call them, right? You want a nice photo, right? You want a compelling headline as well. How you help people succeed. Somebody said that says Uncle Matt. That's crazy. And you want your contact information there, right? So that people can get in contact with you. You want custom links, right? So your portfolio, things like GitHub, things that show like your projects, right? You think of an artist, right? And they have an album, right? What is your album, right? How many songs you have in that in that album, right? What's your work? What's your body of work? So have something where they can point to and say, yeah, I built, look at this cool thing that I built here. Look at this thing that I'm working on here. So your portfolio, this is your walking portfolio. And so you want to document, everything that you're doing today. That personalized URL. Some of you all saw I put in the chat that I put a URL in there. And so that you see is closely to my name. So it's easy to be rememberable, right? Just my first middle name and then the first initial of my middle name, last name. And so it makes it easier for someone to find. Just type in Bernard A. Smith Jr. Right, and so I'm just personalizing my URL. Some of y'all may not know that, but you can personalize that URL. And also tell your story, right? If you all look at my link, I'm telling my story. This guy here, Matt, is telling his story. So you want to lead your professional title. You want to pick your most impressive 3 or 4 accomplishments, highlight those in your career, highlight what you've been doing at WGU, right? Sum up what you can offer, to an employer or a client. Update your work history as well. Make sure they're clear. Make sure there's dates. Make sure that people know the business impact you had in that role, because everything is all about impact, right? When I interviewed for Microsoft, they wanted to understand. I used to work at help desk. I was a help desk engineer, and they was like, "Hey, what did you do at the help desk?" I was like, "Well, I answered 100 phone calls, and I did 200 tickets, and when I understood a problem that a lot of my other counterparts was struggling with, I created a database where they can go into and say, okay, I've seen how to be more efficient, or I've seen how to overcome this problem that when people called into the help desk, they didn't know, people that worked at the help desk didn't know how to do it. I was like, oh, wait, let's just create a centralized location where there's links, there's images, it's pretty much like a process that they can look at and say, hey, this is how I can answer this problem that this person within the company has. And so that was my impact, right? That was my impact that I had. And so when I talked to Microsoft, they was like, oh, wow, you did this, you created a centralized location. And so they could see that impact that I had at the help desk job that I had. It wasn't a big job. I was getting like $8 an hour at the time, but my impact in that job wasn't $8. You get what I'm saying? And so I make sure I documented that impact. And then when I got to Microsoft, I was like, yeah, we're looking for people that can collaborate, that can communicate, right, and that are adaptable, right? And so I'm bringing it all back together for you all on where you are right now. Be as most effective as you can, because if you're trying to get to that next place, right, this is where you're going to have to build, right, that discipline, build that impact, build those skills, and because that's what's going to take you to wherever you're trying to go next. And so continue to update your skills within that role as well, from most important to least important, from most proficient to least proficient. Add any accomplishments that you have, any patents, any awards, any certifications, any special projects, right? And make sure they're not confidential, right? That you played a role in. How did you help make that company that you're at right now better, right? And then ask for recommendations. I always recommend getting recommendations. Someone that can vouch for you, right? It's certain. It's something. There's a recommender, right? There's a mentor and there's a sponsor, right? When you have a recommendation, right? You have people that, hey, I'll recommend you, right, to an employee, right? When I have a mentor, I'm using that person as my guide, right, of where I'm trying to go. When I have a sponsor, I have somebody that's speaking on behalf of me when I'm not in the room. And so you want to develop sponsors, right? You want to develop sponsors at other companies, right? They say, oh, well, I want to get a job at Microsoft. Okay, but who do you know, right? Are they a sponsor of you, right? Have they mentor? Do you have a mentor that helps you figure out how to navigate the world of Microsoft to get in? Right? But you really want that sponsor, because that sponsor says, oh, I know that such and such is looking for a job, and I know this manager has an opportunity. And then now I'm going to say your name to this manager when you're not in the room. And then I'm going to reach back out to you and say, hey, go ahead and apply for this role, or let me put a recommendation in for this role. So you need somebody that's speaking for you when you're not in the room. And we all love people like that, right? Because they the ones that bring a lot of the opportunities when you're not around, because you can't be everywhere. And, you put these goals out there, but, you need somebody you need people that are speaking on behalf of you when you're not in the room. And so these are some examples of soft skills: creativity, problem solving, collaboration, adaptability, critical thinking. You want to make sure you have these interpersonal attributes on your LinkedIn. Don't, make sure you build your LinkedIn out. Your hard skills, whatever that is, whatever technical knowledge you have, whatever training you gain, make sure you put that in your Bible, your multilingual, put that in there as well. So data mining, some of the mobile development, cloud technology, like we talked about, AWS, Azure, put those in your LinkedIn. Skill endorsements, have people endorse your skills, right? If I know you're great at collaborating, I need somebody have people endorse that skill. If I know you're great at design thinking, have people endorse that skill. If I know you're a great financial analyst, have people endorse that skill for you. So they care about soft skills as much as hard skills. And so you want to make sure that people are endorsing that skill because you want more people to say more great things about you as much as possible. Um, these are some of most of the value skills. Like I said, nothing I'm gonna have to go in at a deep level, but confidence is going to be key. That's the most valuable skill you can have in any industry right now is confidence. Time management is going to be key because you're going to work in fast-paced environments. Technology is here. Self-management skills. I don't need to be micromanaging you to do your job or train or upskill. Right? Friendliness, manners. Right? That's going to be key. Do you respect people? Do people respect you? Right? That's going to be key. Your ambition is going to drive you to continue to be motivated, right? Your focus is going to keep you. Your common sense is going to let you know what's right, what's not right. Your situational awareness as well is going to let you know that too as well. Your optimism, your energy, right, is going to be key, right, too as well. When I was interviewing for Microsoft, I brought a lot of energy. I brought a lot of optimism for the future and what I can bring to the company, how I can help the company and my empathy as well is going to be key. You also have empathy for people, for the environment that you're in, because you never know where these people come from all walks of life. Volunteering is a nice touch that you can add, right? That shows the human side. Microsoft did care about what I did outside of Microsoft, and I'm still doing it to this day. Things like this, right? That's volunteering, right? This is a hobby. How do I help people grow on LinkedIn? How do I help people get jobs, right? Microsoft doesn't pay me to help nobody in here, get a job at Microsoft or talk about the future, right? They probably rather me right now be at work. And so but that does mean that you're human, right? And so because they do allow me to have these passions, these hobbies outside of Microsoft, they know that I'm gonna come back to work locked in and focus. And so you do have a life, right, outside of whatever you're working on. So just make sure you all have other hobbies because we know that people get burnt out when they are just all about work. Okay. And so you might not be at a fast-paced company long, because you're gonna get burnt out because you don't know how to get off the computer and go hang with the kids or go travel or go for a walk. And so you're gonna get burnt out real fast trying to just run like a mouse right on that wheel or hamster on the wheel. So just make sure you have hobbies and things that you do outside of work. That's going to be a big part of who you are, and people might want to work with you because of that, right? I know some people make connections. Some ladies told me she was golfing, right, and she got in because the manager, he's great at golfing, he loves golf, and boom, they just started talking about golfing, and now it's like, oh, I have built a relationship with this person because they have other things to them because the work is going to be there. But if you are someone that can build relationships through common interests, that's going to be key. Which brings me to this slide here is that you want to turn your connections, right? That's the starting point into relationships, engagements, right? Right? You want to turn your connections into relationships. So connect with influencers, develop that relationship, connect with personalized requests, right? If I send a LinkedIn request to someone, I'm not just sending it just to say connect. I'm saying, hey, I see what you're doing in the community. I see what you're working here. I want to learn more. Tell me more about yourself, right? I'm making more of a connection to that person. Or you use the follow function as well if you just want to follow someone. So you do have those options available to you. So Microsoft, I'll get to some of these here. I know some people might be asking about like what Microsoft offers. We have industry hire. So you got 12 months post grad. You can apply for Microsoft. You can be a full-time student within 12 months or graduation. We have something called the Expire program. And the Expire program is like Microsoft College to industry. So if you're a university person about to graduate, if you're post graduation, you've got to be within like a time range, right? Um, you can then get into that Expire program. And so typically in July, candidates do begin applying. So say if you're about to graduate in May, for example, you want to start applying in July. Or if you graduate next year, you want to start applying in July too as well, so that you have a job before you graduate. And so look into Microsoft Aspire program. That's the name, Aspire. It start with the A, not Inspire, but Aspire, right? And so look into the Aspire program for those who are in school today. An industry hire is going to be more like a year out of graduation. That's going to be a little bit differently. Okay. Intern, there's some intern programs. We got the Microsoft Explore program that you can look at too as well. And so if you are attending an accredited institution, which WGU is one, right? And you have a degree or going to get that degree, you could be an intern candidate. You get the full-time candidates. Once again, accredited institution, currently enrolled within that 12 months of graduation. You can have a bachelor's, a master's, an MBA, or PhD to apply for those university positions. If you just go careers, if you go to careers.microsoft.com, right, we have many professions, right? Some of you all might say, I'm in tech. Some of you all might not want to be in tech, but maybe want to be around the tech. There's a lot of different things you can do at Microsoft. I'm pretty sure other companies have a website like this, but careers.microsoft.com. Go ahead and look at the 20 plus professions here at Microsoft, or I would say even 50 plus professions here at Microsoft. This is a snapshot. Um, and if you want to be in sales, you want to be in tech sales, be in marketing or evangelism, you're in engineering, finance, hardware, data centers, customer success, business program, research, retail, right? There's so much in there. I would say take a look at those professions, see what aligns to you. And that's going to be key as well, whatever discipline you're thinking about. And so these are just some more talks about our programs. Microsoft Expire, once again, that's one of our college to Microsoft program. People who want to join after graduating undergrad, people who want to join after graduating the MBA programs. We got engineering, evangelism, finance, marketing, operations, sales, and services within that. We got the HR rotation program. So if you're a human resource or MBA, right, we have that HR rotation program, HR 2P, put you in the path of becoming an HR professional. We have the ACE program if you want to pursue marketing as well. And so when you go to careers.microsoft.com, do a slash for students, and that'll come up. All these programs will come up. And so if you wanna be in that marketing perspective, building strong communities, all right, Microsoft is entertaining buying TikTok, right? Because we know marketing is key, right? And we know Google's everywhere, right? We know Apple has the phones. So Microsoft got to figure out how we continue to market. So we make Microsoft cool, right? And so the cool people working at Microsoft, I'll tell you that, a lot of cool people. Um, but the actions as well, when you search for that position, once again, create a profile on that career site. That'll be the first step for y'all to do today. Put an existing resume in there or import your information from LinkedIn. Um, but of course, redefine your resume for each job that you're looking to apply for. That's going to be key as well. You don't want to have one resume for every discipline, right? You want to cater that resume to that discipline. So create that career profile, um, and make sure it stays consistent. So make sure you use the same social account, whatever you use there. And then these are some more stuff. I don't know how we can send some of these links out later, but we have the FAQ page. We have if you go to Microsoft Careers, you'll see all this interview guidance, student interviewing, technical interviewing, virtual interviewing. So if you all like, hey, what question does Microsoft ask? What's like a high level question, or what's the expectations? We published this. I do like Microsoft for doing this. There's a lot of publicized information about how we go about interviewing and what you need to do. Internships, medical, electric, hardware. A lot of people love Xbox, sales, designs. And then once again, you have the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador and the Explore Microsoft program. Hong, I have a lot more, but I may stop here. Maybe this could be another segment of how to analyze job offers, how to negotiate. But I know I only got like 9 minutes left. I know I got to get back to work.
Yes, we can definitely set that up. But thank you so much, Bernard. We can go ahead and leave about 5 minutes here for any questions. I know we have great engagement in the chat, and Bernard, you did a fantastic job. I think most of these questions here were already answered. So feel free to drop your questions in, and if we don't get them to get to them today, we can go ahead and follow up via email as well to make sure we answer your questions. I do see a raised hand here, so let me go ahead and get you unmuted. All right, while I figured that out, I think we did have a question in the chat here. Let's see. Why did you choose to pursue an MBA specifically for Microsoft?
Yeah, it goes back to just upskilling, right? As well, because I have a goal of being on a C-level position, right? And so anytime you're looking at a job, right? And I was saying this kind of earlier, is that I'm looking at what did it take to be in that particular role. And so I'm looking across the board of C-level execs, right? And I'm saying, okay, these folks got advanced degrees. Most of these folks got maybe a doctorate somewhere. And so that's just me kind of upskilling so that when it gets to that point where I'm in that position where I'm applying for manager, I'm applying for some type of leadership role, right? I have that checkbox, right? And so that was the reason why that was the motivation because I want to just continue to climb the ladder at Microsoft or any company or even start my own. So I needed to understand data, right? I wanted to understand, and WGU offered a great courses on that too as well. How to just operate as my own, CTO, right? I would say my chief technical officer, and so having that background of how to understand charts and reading reports, right? Balance sheets, income statements, whatever the case, we all know that stuff. Whoever been in the MBA course, so gotta stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's the main thing.
Thank you, Bernard. We have another question here. Hello, for the Aspire program, is that only for active students? I just graduated last month. Would I still be able to apply for that program?
Yes, within the 12-month, you can apply within 12 months. Yep. So you're either in school, which doesn't count against you, of course. But if you're out of school, then you got that 12-month window. I actually got through Microsoft from the Aspire program. So if you want to reach out to me on LinkedIn, I can talk more about that as well. So I was out of school 8 months and then I applied and then got into the Aspire program. And I started in that July. So yeah, that's why I work at help desk 8 months until Microsoft called. Mhm. After school, after
Awesome.
school.
Awesome. And I think we have some questions here, folks asking if maybe you're willing to be a mentor or be a sponsor. And I know in one of your slides, you talked about the importance of building a relationship and you were open to connecting on LinkedIn. So I would recommend connecting with Bernard first and kind of starting there. And he mentioned, getting endorsements. You do have to know that person, have a relationship with them. So definitely start there in terms of building those networks and connections. Another question here, did you build any projects to land your role at Microsoft? Maybe asking a little bit about outside projects, side hobbies, things like that. Would I need projects for a customer engineer?
Yeah, I would say you need it. I say the most important thing is having that growth mindset. I think having extra stuff that you've done does separate yourself, right? If I had to pick between two people and this person has got more certification, has more experience because they have tested things, broke things, right? Know how to ask the right questions on how to get to a solution, or just know what it feels like to fail forward, right? I mean, that person's typically going to have a higher advantage of the next person that, hey, maybe Microsoft to say, oh, you're on the bench, you don't understand how to build things, and so we got to train you, and that might be more of a 6 month, 8 months in the role type of thing. But this person, they might can come in running because they already have searched about the technology because they already have projects that they have built that are similar and so it's all about competitive. It's a very competitive industry right now. And so I would say I'll be doing anything to stay competitive, to be honest. Even if Microsoft were to lay me off, I would have to be doing the same thing. And I'm still building projects and stuff on the side just because of that and documenting that just because of that, because you don't want to just leave it to chance at the same time. So I do highly encourage doing that. When I joined Microsoft, the project that I was doing was at the help desk. Once again, I was building these centralized locations for everybody at the help desk. So that was a big project because everybody now could feed information to this database. And so now I was getting credit for that. And so we had over 20, 30 people at the help desk and the managers as well. And the managers like, wow, this is a cool idea. So I kind of was already kind of before my time, even though I wasn't a manager, you would think that was a manager thing to do. But I was just an $8 an hour person. And I was like, hey, I got this idea for this database where we can put our any problem you have, there's a solution to that problem and that our help desk team can leverage. So that was kind of my project. And I think that's why Microsoft just enjoyed hearing that because like, wow, you didn't have that responsibility and you still did it. And so that translated to being an engineer because as an engineer, all you're doing is problem solving all day.
That's awesome. Next question here. What did you find to be the most interesting part of your current role?
Um, my current role, helping people and seeing the smiles on their faces when they know that their company is more secure. And that's every day, right? Like I'm about to jump on a call now, speaking to a big company, and they're all about protecting their data and making sure like nobody can hack into their system and that their data is not leaving the outside. And they're interested about AI and Copilot and how that's going to help them be more efficient. So to me, helping people is the best thing, right? The tech is going to be there, but when people say thank you, right? You helped me solve this huge project I had or this business problem I had. I mean, that's to me, that's the most exciting thing. I know every day I'm helping somebody move forward. So to me, that's the most exciting, as well as giving back in the community. Microsoft does allow me to give back in different ways. They let me to take an hour off to talk to you all. To me, that's wonderful. That keeps me happy here as well to know that I can take a pause during my workday. This is not even a lunch hour for me and help you all or talk to you all and support you on your endeavors. So to me, that's exciting is what that Microsoft does allow that.
Yes, thank you so much. And we'll go ahead and conclude this session. I know we have some questions here, but we'll make sure to follow up via email. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us and for your great engagement and good questions. Bernard, your insight into the future of work and the power to embrace technology was really inspiring. You have such a gift for motivating, and it's clear about your passion to empower others. So thank you for being with us today. We'll go ahead and send out a recording of this session soon, along with that survey. And of course, we'd like to extend a big WGU thank you to you, Bernard, for sharing your time, wisdom, and energy with us. Your dedication to uplifting others and driving innovation is truly impactful, and we're so grateful to have had you here today. To everyone who
Thank you.
attended, yes, thank you
Thank
so
you. I just want to
much.
say thank you so much, everybody. Please, I know there's a lot of questions. Please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I know we can't answer them all right now. I'll do my best to answer everybody on LinkedIn. So just please reach out to me on LinkedIn or hung my email and
Yep,
just I'll follow up later. But thank you so much, everybody. I
yes,
hope everything was helpful.
yep, thank you. Yeah, wishing everyone a fantastic rest of your day. Take care.
Take care.